His name, Merlin.
Hello, knights, lords, ladies, sorcerers, enchantresses, dragon whisperers, and all things associated with magic and sorcery, or sword and bravery. Welcome to the penultimate episode for Series 5 of Merlin, where we're talking about the Diamond of the Day Part 1, where... oh boy, where do I even start? Well, if you guys don't know where to begin with this, I'm just going to say that I'm not going to give you a summary. I mean, I'll give the whole plot, basically, but there is no summary this time because since this is geared towards a series finale due to executive decision and from actors saying they're too old to do the parts, I'm just going to go straight into the plot. So if you have not seen Merlin, or any episode leading up to this, or even the episode itself, I recommend that you stop the video, go straight to the video sharing site that you can watch the episode, and then come back here to go over this whole analysis with me. If you guys did that, then congratulations. You're now a little bit closer to why a lot of people love this series. If you haven't, I'm deeply disappointed in you. Nah, but what do I care? I'm not your fucking parents. So, the Day of the Diamond is the penultimate episode of the distributed series finale, but thanks to fan creations on the internet, we have another season after this, so yippee! Where this whole episode kind of starts off where on Morgana's side, she has a plan to take away the magic of HeyItsMeChriss. But doing so, it's just going to have us do that whole jaunty thing of, ha ha ha, life is amazing for Merlin. He gets all the money from Arthur using magic. Oh ho ho ho, oh ho ho, we are so enthralled with this whole scene of magic and sorcery and laughter and all the things with gambling. Ha 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 ha. If you guys don't know, I'm like super amped up now with my acting because Kingdom Hearts 3 is about to drop and I'm going to be no-lifing that shit for about a couple of days. Regardless, with the whole entire spectrum for Merlin's whole life being awesome, we then have to cut to him going home with Gaius knocked unconscious because someone took a page from Joe from the show You, first on Lifetime, now on Netflix, ba-bum, and just knocks him senseless with a rock. Somewhere in the universe, a girl named Peach is rubbing the back of her head and she has no idea why. Anyway, because Gaius is unconscious, a mysterious man that was introduced earlier on in the episode to try and make this whole plot thread happen, snuck into the house and left a box with a slug mollusk thing? I don't fucking know, man. Which, after crawling out, attached to Merlin's face for about the span of, I would say, 5 seconds, which we find out after rewinding the tapes to then see an old druid by the name of Ari, I believe. Where Ari, he had the slug on his face for roughly on screen for, I would say, 45 to 50 seconds, but for Merlin, it was only on for about 10 seconds. Hold on to why I'm saying that for right now, because that's actually important to an analogy I've kind of surmised in my own mind. Well, not analogy, more of an analysis, but right now my brain isn't fully working because hype mode cannot focus that well. In any case, from this whole structure, as we're moving on into Merlin getting the slug on his face and then having Gaius try to knock it out into submission and then be killed, we then have to have the whole scene of Merlin finding out that, shock of all shocks, he doesn't have his magic. Dear God, what is Merlin supposed to do without his magic? It's not like he's learned anything throughout the series about being an herbologist or apothecary, basically. How to be a swordsman. Basically being a good enough archer and horseback rider and being probably one of the bravest persons in Camelot, both male and female, because my God, this man he's done so much and has gotten zero in return. But no, we have to have this be the template of, without my powers, I'm nothing. I hate that sentiment so much that I'm going to actually have that template in an upcoming show I'm making just to make fun of it when my characters know that they're more than their fucking powers. I hate that trope so much, but I'm going to let it slide because it actually serves for a good purpose in this show. So, with Merlin now just being like, what can I do without my powers, and Morgana now trying to lead an army to the location of Camlin, which, if you guys read up on Arthurian lore, is the fated battle where Arthur will be put into a healing coma and only to be awoken when Britain needs him most. People are still waiting on that day. So now Merlin is kind of like, where can I go to get my magic back? Well, we could rewind to several seasons ago to remember that there is a place where magic was first born. That of the Crystal Cave. But he doesn't want to go alone, so he enlists the aid of Gawain, where I've actually been avoiding talking about Gawain for a lot of reasons throughout the whole entire review cycle so far, because I've recently remembered why I feel very, very bad for Gawain in every time I've ever watched this in its entirety, whether it's through DVDs, on Netflix, through just pirated sites that people keep trying to share to me. Every time I read about Gawain, or in any iteration, I try to watch him, or try to read about him, or see people drawing about him. He's probably the saddest knight in the entire round table for events such as him falling in love with the girl that just happens to give him the puh, and after he does the sex, she then runs off to Morgana and Mordred, who's actually now super evil because of events from last episode, and then just decides to sell out the fact that Arthur is on the move just like Morgana wanted, and then to just earn she's a C-word points, she then is just like, the knight is going with Merlin to the Valley of the Kings. Because we need to make sure that Morgana tries to make it seem like she's fully entrenched in victory and no one can stop her, because of course, even though it would have just been simpler to have Mordred go after him for the theatrical reasons, but whatever, gotta keep up with the continuity of how Arthurian lore ends, even though we haven't really kept to a lot of Arthurian lore notes all that well, except for names, certain people around the round table, and just certain key moments, and avoiding the awkward love triangle by making it very much a realistic thing of one person loves the other person way too much to make this into a I'll only be with this person for blah blah blah. I'm only saying that Merlin is very picky and choosy with how it does its whole continuity nods, and it frustrates me. In any case, though, Morgana finds out that Merlin's on his way to the Crystal Cave after he has this whole, "Oh god, I'm so scared, I don't have my power, someone save me!" moment, which irritates the fuck out of me. Where as soon as he's in the cave and Morgana taunts him and then traps him in the cave, all seems lost. Arthur's on his way to die at Camlin, Merlin doesn't have his powers, what can he do? Well, first he gets visited by his dad pulling a full-blown Star Wars moment of, "Hello, my son. You are more than just who you appear to be. You are not just a simple boy. You were born of magic. You cannot lose who you are. And also go to Dagobah to talk to Yoda." So he has a healing nap, because of course, and then he all of a sudden gets his magic back, because he finally believed in himself. Oh god, parappa the rapper, I finally got it. You gotta believe. So because Merlin now has his powers back and is trying to spy all over the world to find Arthur and then just warn him about Morgana's incoming plans where, oh right, Gwen's here. I keep forgetting Gwen's here because she hasn't had a real impact on the fucking story ever since she got married to this asshole. But I digress. And now Arthur does a rousing speech, and then we get probably the most amazingly choreographed fight I've seen in a while. Of swordplay on swordplay in a huge amount of individuals on camera with the whole slow-mo action scene that we've all grown to love a little bit. And it does harker into a whole thing about this being a final battle. There aren't any light punches. There aren't any people just trying to weed it out for a small bit. They're trying to actually go into this as if it's the final time without any sort of people just backtrack and backpedal into, oh yeah, this is totally not the finale. We are totally not hinting at there being another season because we're trying to go all out with this. You can feel the veracity because of how it's culminating into the most bombastic finale that they could ever amount to on a financial scale. And they also end the whole entire episode with Arthur and Mordred about to meet each other on the battlefield. Morgana feeling like she's on top of the world. And then, shock of all shocks, after blasting his way out of the cave, Merlin comes out, not using a potion, but using his own magic to turn into the old man version of himself to be Emrys for the final time in old man form without, aging properly. So, yeah, that would be the diamond of the day of the diamond, whichever one you want to go with. And I can't share my full thoughts yet because I want to share everything I feel about this in part 2. All I can say is it's leading into something beautiful. Every time I see the finale, I kind of cry a little. And I'm really looking forward to just going over all this stuff with you next week. But until then, I want you guys to watch the entire finale and then come back here when I give my final thoughts on everything with the live-action Merlin as we gear up for the final series made by fans. So I'll see you guys next week.